Out there's a world outside of Yonkers, way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby, out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby.
Now what's got your dander up?
That is no way to address a butler.
Well, that's no way to stare at a hard-working maid.
Well, Magnolia, haven't you finished yet? The guests will be here any moment.
I'm sorry, Mr. Metkins, really I am. This part of the old mansion hasn't been opened in so long, there's dust on nearly everything, even in the drawers.
Well, hurry it up, girl, hurry it up. Mr. Leduc was quite specific about the time his guests were due to arrive. It wouldn't do to have them all raising dust clouds with every step they took.
This old feather thing doesn't do much good. It just moves the dust to a different place. I do wish your mansion had a vacuum cleaner.
And where would you plug it in if we had one? We're lucky the master electrified the ceiling lights in this creaky old place. It would get terribly tiresome handlighting chandeliers full of wax candles.
At least candles don't go out in a thunderstorm. Brr. I'd hate to find myself here in unexpected blackness.
You're not likely to find yourself here much longer if you keep on shirking your duties, Magnolia.
Do you know, I'd almost enjoy getting a sack from this place. I had such trouble sleeping last night with all those strange noises.
Oh, you're imagining things. There are no strange noises here. Well, perhaps a squeaky floorboard or two, but I had no trouble sleeping at all.
That's because you're not a helpless young girl. Creatures that come creeping about in the night almost never bother about butlers.
My dear girl, I do hope you will not talk that way in front of the guests.
I won't have to. They'll know. 10 minutes in this dreadful pile of ancient stones and they'll know. It's in the very walls it is. A kind of cold, queasy feeling that comes with the dampness of the place and penetrates to your very bones.
Here now, what's this?
Now you're first, girl. Good evening, sir.
Never mind the amenities, Medkins. What's this fool German blathering about now?
Beg your pardon, Mr. Leduc, sir. I'm just not used to working in such a large, spooky place. When the agency...
Spooky! How dare you! Margate Manor has been in the family for countless generations.
All right, then. Old and spooky. Give me the sack if you like, but it won't alter the facts.
Now you listen here, young girl. Damn it, blast, the guests are here. Medkins.
I want, sir.
As for you, young lady, you can thank heaven the guests have arrived so opportunely for you. There's no time to hire a new girl now.
If you could get one. Now I'll just go see about the horse's duvers.
That's hors d'oeuvres.
What, Uncle and Ryan? As I live and breathe, you haven't altered in 20 years.
I'm afraid you have the better of me, sir.
Why, it's Barnaby, Uncle. Barnaby Fulsey. Have I changed so much then?
Oh yes, Barnaby. Of course I recognize you now. Of course you were a mere lad in school at the time last time I saw you. And you certainly didn't have that facial hair.
Well, that's true enough, I dare say. Where do the years go to, eh?
Where indeed, where indeed. Well, it's so good having you back after all these years. How was your trip?
Oh, it was actually a bit rough halfway over, but otherwise quite pleasant. It was good of you to send the plane ticket. It's not easy being the poorest member of an otherwise wealthy family.
Some sherry, Mr. Folsom. Mr. Leduc.
Splendid idea. The evenings are growing a bit chilly.
And arriving earlier, too. Thanks, Medkins.
It is getting a bit dim in here at that. Medkins?
At once, sir. Will there be anything else, sir?
Not at the moment, Medkins. Just wait for the arrival of the rest of my guests.
As you wish, sir.
It must be wonderful having servants. Just say the word and the thing is done. How long has Medkins been with you?
Well, it's almost embarrassing to admit, but I only hired him for the duration of the house party. And a young snip of a maid named Magnolia, they arrived here yesterday morning.
Oh, I had thought...
Well, you see, it's the blasted taxes. No one can run a mansion like it was done in the old days. Servants are hard to come by. Good servants, even impossible to come by. And in either case, they're beastly expensive to have around.
But how do you manage such a large place without them?
Oh, I don't. Only opened up this wing for the house party. I live in a few small rooms at the other wing. Don't need a domestic staff for that size now, do I?
Well, no, I suppose not, though. I had thought the Leduc family was absolutely rolling in money.
Afraid not. Afraid not. A few paltry £1,000,000 is all.
Few mil?
Ah, here is my sister-in-law.
Oh, Lady Barbara Fenwick, is it not?
Orion, aren't you going to introduce me?
Barbara, this is Barnaby Folsey from the United States, your nephew-in-law.
Happy to meet you, Mr. Tate.
Fancy, Lady Barbara.
Oh, now, you mustn't flatter me.
I forgot to mention, she's as deaf as a post. Hardly ever catches a word of a conversation.
Oh, I have many friends there.
Where?
Why, at Conover Station, of course. How long have you lived there?
Barbara, I didn't say Conover Station. I said conversation.
Yes, but how long has he lived there?
Oh, ever so long.
What do you mean so long? You're not leaving already?
Barbara, we were just having some sherry. Would you like a glass?
Mrs. Michael's class, of course. That's where I know him from. It was such fun, wasn't it? The bright lights, the applause.
Barbara, this isn't about your amateur theatrical. This is Barnaby Folsey from the United States, my only boy's brother. My only brother's boy, your nephew-in-law.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Lawson. I never did catch your name when we were in acting school together.
Really, Lady Barbara?
Sorry. Barnaby, it's no use. When she has a wrong notion in her head, there's no dissuading her of it. From now on, she will insist that you two met while sharing a class.
Sherry in a glass. What else would I drink it from?
That's one nice thing about Barbara. Sooner or later, the proper message gets through in a roundabout way, of course. Ah, more guests. Capital, capital.
Miss Rosalind Barstow.
Oh, what? Oh.
Brian, darling. I heard you were having a party and I just couldn't stay away.
Damn it, blast, Rosalind. This is a family gathering.
Oh, but I'm practically family, aren't I? I mean, it's only a matter of time.
Oh, yes. Rosalind, this is Barnaby Folsey. Rosalind is a friend.
Former schoolmate?
Oh, dash it all, Barnaby. I'm old enough to be her.
Husband.
Really, Magnolia?
Oh, really?
What, sir?
Never mind about that. Just go about taking the guests' baggage upstairs.
That's housemaid work. I was hired as a party maid.
You may move the party upstairs. Now, get to it.
Miss Cleo Barton and a friend.
Cleo Barton, the Hollywood movie star.
Oh, really?
Orion! Oh, and Lady Barbara. It's been simply ages and ages. Orion, isn't that Cleo Barton?
That's what Medkins said, my dear.
What did that make its head? It's been such a long, dreary ride up here. Isn't anyone going to offer us a drink? It's been such a long, dreary ride up here. Isn't anyone going to offer them a drink?
You'll have to find my sister-in-law.
She's deaf as a post.
Really, Magnolia?
You told me so yourself, sir.
Hardly can get any competent help around here, Mr.
Oh, how stupid of me. I'd like you. Well, I'd like all of you to meet one of my oldest, closest, and dearest friends, Jeff
Barnett.
Barnett.
Actually, we just met tonight.
But some friendships seem so they've gone on forever, you know. From the moment I saw him, I just knew we had much in common.
Because we met at a bar.
At Jeffrey Club. Mr. Barnett is an American. Cleo, aren't you going to introduce your young man?
See, deaf as a post.
Magnolia! I thought I told you to get to the baggage.
There are 6 suitcases. I can't carry more than 2.
Then make 3 trips.
But I don't even know which rooms they're supposed to be in.
Now it's very simple, my girl. Miss Barnett's in the blue room, Miss Bostow's things in the gray room, and Mr. Folsey's in the pink room.
But how do I know which bags are which?
Oh, listen, I have a marvelous idea. Why don't we each carry our own bags upstairs? It simplified things enormously.
That is a marvelous idea.
That girl, 7 servants were so beastly hard to get a hold of.
Shame on you, Ryan.
I mean, from an agency. I say, carry your own bags? Which is to say, do you have your own baggage with you?
He can't go a whole weekend without a change of clothing, Orion.
Oh, of course not. I was just saying, well, when you said you met him in a pub, I'd actually thought that he just had his clothes with him.
Well, actually, it was more of an inn. See, I was at the bar trying to get a room for the night, but they were all booked up, so...
So I told him I knew an absolutely divine place where he could spend the night and it wouldn't cost him a shilling.
Meaning here?
Why, where else going? It's not as though you didn't have the space, and it's getting far too late to find him lodging elsewhere, so...
I was not planning on evicting the gentleman. I was merely taken unawares that,
More guests? Are there enough beds to go round?
I'm not certain, but we may have to kick you out.
Oh, but think of what that would be like for me!
Well, seriously, if unexpected arrivals are crowding you, I mean, as an uninvited guest...
Oh, don't give Orion ideas. I'm an uninvited guest myself.
Was that the doorbell?
I see what you mean, Uncle. Sooner or later.
She catches up with events.
Miss Barnsdale.
Oh dear, not another bag.
I beg your pardon.
I believe Magnolia was referring to the increase in luggage, Miss.
As if I didn't have enough of it to carry up them stairs.
Really, Magnolia? Hadn't you better get started?
Oh, damn blast.
Come in, Barnsey, come in. You look a bit chilly.
Yes, I am. There's a storm brewing outside.
Oh, drat. I just had the Bentley waxed and polished, are you sure?
Well, the sky was filled with absolutely threatening clouds as I strolled up here from the cottage.
Cottage?
Oh, I completely forgot you two hadn't met. You see, Barnsey is a retired member of the household. She was my governess. And she lives at the cottage at the foot of the estate.
Orion, it is considered proper manners for the gentleman to be introduced to the lady first, then the lady to the gentleman.
Ah, sorry, I forgot. This is Geoffrey Barnett.
That's all you're going to tell me about him?
That's all I know.
Cleo picked him up in a pub.
Well, really, Mr. Woodsdale, that's not as bad as it sounds.
You mean it's worse? How delicious.
You mustn't say howdy, even if he is an American. Why, Lady Barbara, you must be improving. However did you know his nationality?
He's gnashing what? So much for her improvement.
What really, Rosalind? How did you know the nationality?
It was probably a lucky guess. I mean, the cut of my clothes or something.
Your pictures don't do you justice, young man.
What pictures?
I think I got it. Lady Barbara saw Jeff come in with me, and she imagines he must be another American movie star.
I think Barnsley may be right. There is a storm brewing out there.
Perhaps we should shut the garden doors.
Oh, no need, no need. There's a considerable overhang of the terrace over there. No danger of the rain coming in. Besides, this room could use a little bit of fresh air. No danger of it, and, well... oh, excuse me. Old unused rooms do tend to get a bit musty.
Oh, Ryan, I've never seen this part of the house. Would you give me a tour of the premises?
Certainly not now, Rosalind. Perhaps after the rest of the party has arrived. It wouldn't be good manners for him to leave his guests.
Never argued Baltic with Barnsey. She's quite right. Besides, we must all be here when when I am ready to make my announcement.
Announcement, Uncle?
Aha! I thought there might be an ulterior motive for this gathering.
Oh, this sounds so mysterious.
How many more guests are you expecting, Mr. Ledoux?
Oh, just one more. My grandniece Dora. She should be here shortly.
Perhaps that's her. Perhaps that's she. Oh, come off it, Barnsley. We're not in the classroom now.
Medkins, is that Dora?
Sorry, sir. It was only the paper boy.
Your paperboy rings the doorbell and hand delivers the news?
Well, he can hardly toss it onto the lawn from the road. It's nearly half a mile down the driveway.
I say, what is delaying Dora? It's not like of her to be tardy.
Well, she does have quite a long distance to come.
Didn't she settle someplace in America or something?
Dover.
Oh, I could have sworn.
Not the White Cliffs, the other one.
What other one?
In Delaware, it's the capital city.
I say, how did you know that?
Like the capital of Delaware is hardly secret information, Mr. Ledoux.
No, that I meant that my granny settled there. How did you know that?
Orion, and stop being so jumpy. There's a perfectly obvious conclusion.
Yes, yes, I dare say it was.
How long ago did dear little Dora emigrate to America?
Oh, ages and ages. She was a mere child at the time. I don't suppose she'll remember any of us, except perhaps Barnsley. Teachers do seem to stick with one for some reason or another. The rest of us will undoubtedly seem like strangers to her.
No, well, you're forgetting Geoffrey is a stranger to her, and so am I.
But Barnaby, she won't have forgotten him.
Oh, why should she particularly remember me?
Barnaby, dear fellow, you surely remember all the times you used to take her piggyback riding all over the estate. A child simply doesn't forget things like that. She'll know your face in a minute.
Not if you took a piggyback, Orion, but she would certainly recognize the back of his head.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Leduc, but I think I should tell you it's nearly time for dinner to be served.
What? It's Canterbury.
You did say at 8:30 sharp, sir.
Well, if we must, we must.
But surely we won't start without dear little Dora.
And I don't see why not. If she chooses to arrive late, let her be the one to have a dinner cold.
As much as I hate to say it, I agree with Cleo.
Better leave those right there, Magnolia. It's time to start serving dinner.
You know, those are mine, actually. I can just take them up myself. Is there any particular room you want me in, Mr. Ledoux?
The gold room should be ready for occupancy, I believe.
That would be the fourth door to your right at the head of the stairs, sir.
Here, those look heavy. Let me give you a hand.
Where were you when I needed help?
That sherry's giving me an appetite. Is it dinner time yet? Perhaps we should all write our remarks down on idiot cards and show them to the old girl. Cards before dinner, perhaps after, my dear. That is, if everyone likes to play bridge.
Would someone please kindly take her by the arm and lead her to the table? I'm not up to explaining it to her in words.
Hope she doesn't think she's being kidnapped. Oh, I've already had my nap, dear.
Shall we then, my dear?
And I suppose I can go into dinner unescorted?
Oh, stop being such a social fuss budget, Barnsley. Come along, old girl, come along.
Well, what are we having for dinner, Orion?
Oh, the usual fare, boiled mutton, Yorkshire pudding, and gooseberry trifle.
And they say America's the home of the brave? Yoo-hoo! Anybody home?
Hello, Dora.
Jam! Oh, wait, what in the world are you doing here?
Well, I guess I owe you some sort of explanation.
You most certainly do. Why, I told you very definitely when we parted at the airport that you were not to interfere in any way with...
Yes, but I was so worried about you. I mean, your great-uncle's cablegram, it was so mysterious.
Another guest? I don't believe I heard the door chimes.
Oh, I came in through the garden. It was such a lovely night, I decided to walk from the station.
Lovely night. It's damp, chilly, and threatening to rain.
Oh, that's what I love about England. You can always depend on the weather.
I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Oh, British weather is never a pleasure, but it's so typical.
I mean, we haven't met, have we?
Oh, here, let me do the honors. Barnaby Folsey, this is Dora Dunstock.
You know, I used to have a relative by that name. Barnaby Folsey, I mean, not Dora Dunstock. I'm Dora Dunstock.
Dora, I'm sure he knows which of you is which.
Dora, how delightful to see you again.
Again?
Yes. Darling, Barnaby is that relative of yours.
But he can't be. Barnaby was ever so much taller.
Dora, you were barely 3 years old at the time. Naturally, I was taller then.
How much taller were you? You can't have shrunk.
Of course not, darling, but you've grown.
Oh, well, that must be it. But why don't I recognize those whiskers?
Well, I didn't have them then. Wasn't much more than a young lad myself.
What do you mean yourself? I certainly was never a young lad.
Really, darling, let's not pursue the matter.
I say, that's the 3rd time you've called her that.
Called me what?
Darling.
How dare you? We hardly know each other.
Dora, Barnaby was merely quoting me. You want to know why I can call you darling on such short acquaintance?
Oh, but we've known one another for years.
Well, I know that, but Barnaby hasn't.
He must. I just told him.
I meant before that.
Before what?
You care to give me a hand?
I wouldn't touch this conversation with a 10-foot pole.
Why? I don't follow you.
Dora, you just answered your own question.
I beg your... Achoo! Pardon.
Silly goose, crossing open fields at night in England.
Would some sherry help you?
Help me what?
Warm up, darling.
I'm trying, can't you see?
Dora, I was merely finishing Barnaby's question, not giving an order.
But darling, you can't order him to give you a sherry.
Look, why don't I just get it? Before we die of thirst.
That's so thoughtful of you, Lordsy.
What did you call me?
Lordsy, it's a sort of pet name.
For a toad, maybe.
But Barnaby, surely you remember why I call you that.
Can't say as I do.
But how could you forget? He used to have 3 of the cutest little warts on the back of his right ear. I used to play with them while riding piggyback.
On the back of my... Oh, those. I'd almost forgotten.
But how could you? You said they used to get in the way whenever you combed your hair.
They did. That's why I had them removed. Beastly little things.
What? Removed? Let me see.
Now really?
Dora, stop pestering the poor gentleman.
But darling, if he's had them removed, whatever am I going to call him henceforth?
Barnaby would be nice.
Oh, but my sweet Barnaby was always nice. Especially to me. I'm the only one that ever got a ride on piggyback.
No one else wanted to.
I dare say that's true. And they would have looked pretty silly, being adults. Achoo! Ugh.
Go back to the fireside. You catch pneumonia.
And I'll just get us that sherry.
Darling, how are we going to explain your presence to Uncle Orion?
Oh, there's no need. Actually, it's all been explained. He believes me to be the short acquaintance of your dearest cousin Cleo.
Short acquaintance? But you're just about as tall as me.
The acquaintance is short. I'm not.
Well, we might as well tell him. No point in confusing me, old dear.
Here, now what's this?
What's what?
Your picture, Mr. Barnett, right here on the front page of the newspaper.
Ooh, how exciting!
I don't understand.
Well, it says here, Mr. Geoffrey Barnett, a recent arrival to our shores. He planes at the London airport. Mr. Barnett is a noted police reporter with the Dover Delaware Gazette, but insisted to this reporter that he is here merely for pleasure, not business. By heaven, this explains what Lady Barbara meant earlier.
Great Aunt Barbara? Meant about what?
Well, she remarked that just pictures didn't do him justice. We all imagined she'd mistaken him for a motion picture actor or some such. But if she'd seen this edition of the paper...
Well, how could she have? I mean, it only came in just a short time ago. She had no opportunity whatsoever to even look at it.
Well, that's true enough. And she did say pictures, plural, and there's only the one in the paper.
Perhaps she meant the snapshots I sent her last month in my semi-weekly letter.
Snapshots of me?
Of us, darling. The night of our engagement.
Oh, I say, congratulations are in order then.
Oh, hardly, Wartsy. Mailing a letter is a minor achievement, at best.
I meant the fact that you intend to be married.
That was supposed to be a secret.
Dora, I didn't tell him.
Well, he can't be psychic.
Why can't I?
Are you?
Well, no.
Well, there. So how did he know of our engagement?
Dora, you told him.
Jeff, don't be stupid. If I'd have told him, I'd have certainly invited him to the party. But I hadn't, so I didn't. Therefore, he oughtn't.
Oughtn't what?
Know our secret.
What secret?
That Dora and I are engaged.
There. You did tell him.
By George, he's right.
Dora, he already knew and I just told him.
Jeff, why would you tell him something he already knew?
Well, that is when he came down the stairs, or... No, you said... I said... Just somebody said.
Oh, what does it matter? The point is, I do know now, and I should like to toast the soon-to-be bride.
Hold... Ugh, what's wrong with your sherry?
I say, it does look a bit odd now that you mention it.
Yes. And there's a little fly on the rim of the glass.
It's taking a sip.
It's falling on the table.
It's clutching its throat.
It's rolling on its back.
I can't... Oh, Dora, hold me.
Don't worry, boys. It's all over.
father had 6 legs?
Certainly not.
And I fail to see the resemblance.
Well, you see, whenever he'd drink sherry, he'd take a sip, clutch his throat, roll on his back.
He died of drinking sherry?
Indirectly. You see, one night he was drinking straight from the bottle, and then he choked on the cork. Oh.
I say, I just noticed, Jeff. Your sherry is an entirely different color. And yours, Dora.
They look alike to me.
I mean different from mine, not from each other.
How can it be? I mean, you poured all 3 from the same decanter.
Yes, and we were the only 3 people in the room.
And neither of you went anywhere near that decanter. And I certainly added nothing extraneous to my drink.
Of course you didn't, Barnaby. Why, you wouldn't hurt a fly.
Yet that fly was certainly dead.
And how in the world did it happen?
I don't know, but I think it would be wise if you at least got your sherry analyzed.
Oh, but darling, where would we get a psychiatrist?
Dora, my love.
Ah! What happened to the light? Oh, Jeff! Where's the candle? Oh, no!
Dora.
Oh! Is it the storm? Oh.
Look! The glass, it's gone!
How can I look at the glass if it's gone?
But how could it be gone? I mean, no one was anywhere near it.
Never mind that. The fact is, somebody tried to poison me just now. And I can't for the life of me imagine why.
Perhaps it has something to do with the tontine.
What tontine?
There's more than one.
Dora, we had no idea that there was any. Not until this moment. At least I didn't.
I assure you, neither did I. I mean, isn't that one of those things where a lot of people pool a lot of money and the survivor takes all? Well, I'd hardly be asked to join one. I'm practically penniless.
That's true, darling. Barnaby comes from a long line of famous paupers.
That's why I went off to America, to seek my fortune.
And?
By the time I got there, all available fortunes had been made.
What a pity.
You can say that again.
Okay. What a pity.
Dora, just who are the members of this tontine that you just mentioned?
Well, let me see. Great-grandfather, he's hanging over the fireplace. Set the whole thing up. Shortly before I died, he moved to America. Or was it vice versa? Anyhow, the members of the tontine include Uncle Orion, Cleo, Barnsey, Aunt Barbara, and myself. Whoever outlives the others gets the money, and I'm the youngest. Isn't that keen?
Well, Dora, I hate to dampen your enthusiasm, but has it occurred to you that a survivorship tontine might prove temptation to a poisoner?
He's right, you know. If 4 of the 5 members perish, the last one would be sitting pretty.
Sitting pretty in the electric chair, you mean? I mean, suspicion would fall upon the sole survivor after a string of 4 murders.
Oh, but darling, they don't use electric chairs in England. They merely hang people. It's ever so much cheaper.
Dora, haven't I gotten through to you yet? Why, you could be in mortal danger.
Nonsense! If what you say is so, then why would the murderer try to bump off Barnaby? He's not in the tontine.
Well, that's true enough.
But somebody did just try to do you in, didn't they? The whole thing, it doesn't make any sense.
That's it!
That's what?
Well, if the murder attempt didn't make any sense, then to find the murderer, all we have to do is look for someone who doesn't make sense. Jeff, Barnaby, why are you looking at me that way?
Nothing, Dora, nothing.
Well, let's get back to the point. Why would anyone want to murder me? I'm the only one who stands to gain anything if the others die. And they gain nothing if I do.
What are you talking about gain? I mean, because if you're not in the tontine...
Well, obviously, old man, if all 5 members died, that wouldn't matter.
That would certainly matter to me, being one of the 5.
I mean matter money-wise. You see, with all 5 members gone, the money would revert to the estate, and I would be the sole surviving relative, and... Do you know? That's got me thinking. I wonder if... Oh, it's an absolutely absurd suggestion. But it would explain the poison in my sherry just now.
What would, Barnaby? What have you just thought of?
I thought... No, mustn't tell you. Can't betray confidence.
But your confidant could be a killer.
Barnaby, can't you tell us without naming names?
That might be all right, I suppose. Then, if my thought should prove true, I could name the name.
Barnaby, there's a killer on the loose. Stop trying to ease your conscience. Just tell us what you know.
Well, for starters, 2 of the people at this party are imposters.
3, if you count Jeff. Short acquaintance of Cleo indeed. Or were you counting Jeff?
No, not at all. But you're right, of course, that does make 3.
Barnaby, who are the imposters?
Can't tell you. That's the confidence I spoke of. Gave him a word, old man.
Well, if you ever hope to be an old man, you'll forget what you told your confidant and tell us.
But darling, shouldn't he tell us before he forgets?
That's not what I meant.
Well, that's what you said.
Dora, my dearest darling, shut up! Before it's too late, can you please tell us?
Oh, very well. The names of the 2 imposters are...
Ah! Oh, Jeff! Something's got me! Something's got
Dora,
me!
it's me.
Oh, I thought it was a murder or something.
Oh,
Ah! Are they gonna come back on again? Okay. Oh, there they are.
Barnaby, he's gone!
Yeah, I don't see him anywhere.
But how can it be gone? I mean, it's impossible.
Maybe he stepped out for some fresh air.
Step out? Dora, in the short time he had that the lights were out, he couldn't have made it through those garden doors if he'd been shot from a cannon.
Well, he must have gone someplace because he's certainly not here.
But don't you see, this disappearance is impossible.
Ah! Oh no!
Dora.
It's again! Where are those lights? Is there like a breaker box or is that called a breaker box or a fighter box? I don't know. Barnaby, you're back!
Barnaby, you're back.
Paper!
Oh, of course! What section? Sports or the bunnies?
Writing paper!
Oh, of course.
The desk.
It's monogrammed, is that all right?
Oh, isn't there any plane?
Let me check.
Oh, Jeff, he's trying to tell us something.
Oh!
Sorry.
Here's the paper that you wanted.
Oh, wouldn't a pillow be more comfortable?
Pen!
I don't have one.
What would a pencil do?
Yes!
Well, I haven't got one.
The desk. Well, there must be a pen or pencil somewhere in the desk.
Jeff! What's he got on me?
Stapler.
Ruler.
Box of rubber bands.
Eraser.
Paperweight.
Ooh, pencil!
Oh, good. Quick, give it to me.
Why? I had it first.
What does that matter?
Fair is fair.
Sure.
Jeff, look! His finger writing something on the dust on the paper.
Bar. Bar? B-A-R? Killer's at the
Oh,
bar!
Jeff! Wait! There's no one here!
Maybe we misunderstood him. Back to Barnaby.
Barnaby, what is the meaning of what you wrote?
Will you stop that?
Sorry.
Barnaby, can you tell us, please, what is the meaning of what you wrote?
Name. Name of killer. Too weak to finish.
So the killer could only be someone like Rosalind Barstow. I never did trust her.
It could also be Cleo Barton. Or your old governess, Miss Barnsdale.
I do hope it's not Rita Barbara. There's twice as much evidence against her.
Evidence? What evidence?
Barbara has barred it twice.
No!
Well, at least we know it's not Medicus and Magnolia.
Who are Medkins and Magnolia?
Oh, that's right. You haven't met them. They're the last in the butler that your Uncle Ryan hired for the party this year.
Oh, my Uncle Ryan. I almost forgot about him. It can't be him either.
Hold on. He is a baronet. That has B-A-R in it, too.
Oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. Why, he's one of the nicest, kindliest. Yes, you should be ashamed of yourself, Jeff Barnett. Barnett. Barr! Your name has a B-A-R in it, too.
Dora, I was right next to you.
Until the lights went out, and then what happened?
They came right back on again, and I was right there with you.
Well, say, as long as Barnaby's not dead, why don't we ask him?
Oh, of course. Barnaby, come on, can you tell us, please, where's the paper? Can you tell us what you wrote? Oops. Well, he would have died soon enough anyway.
Oh, of course he would, dearest.
What's this? Oh,
There's been a murder, and need each one of you to tell me where you've been in the last 5 minutes.
I beg your pardon? Oh, Jeff, you check out the others. I'll write down the questions for her.
Okay, please tell me, it's very important.
Well, Rosalind and I were taking a stroll in the garden before dinner.
And Magnolia and I were cleaning up the dishes after dinner.
And I was in the wine cellar trying to find an after-dinner liqueur.
And I stayed in the dining room, doubling over my dinner. And I always take a nap after dinner.
Dora, what does it mean?
We've missed dinner.
It's always Magnolia do this, Magnolia do that. Magnolia quit whining.
Now, I don't intend to give offense to anyone here, but there has been a ghastly murder committed here this evening. And before the police arrive, I think it would be in the best interest of all of us that we do what we can to figure out which one of us is the killer. Do you agree? Do you? I mean, I'd certainly feel a lot better if I knew which one of you to avoid.
And so would I.
Yes, let's find out who killed Barnaby by all means.
What I'd like to know is who murdered what's-his-face. Who said that?
Damn it, Blas, between your eyes and Barbara's ears, none of this will ever get cleared up.
Then we might as well go to bed.
With a murderer on the prowl?
Magnolia, all the bedrooms have stout locks on the doors.
What if he's in the room with you when you lock it?
And who says the murder's a he? Could be a woman for all we know.
Nonsense. Barnaby was stabbed. A lady always uses poison. It's much more polite.
Oh, but the first attempt on Barnaby's life was a glass of poison.
Well, that might mean that there are two murderers. A poisoner and a stabber.
I wish you wouldn't say things like that.
Be calm, Magnolia. Rosalind is mistaken. The most we could have in our midst is one would-be murder and one actual murder, do you see? The dagger worked, but the poison didn't.
If you think you've soothed my nerves, you're even dumber than you look.
Oh,
Magnolia, that's no way to talk to one's employer.
If you could see him, you'd agree with me.
Please have some quiet. This bickering isn't getting us anywhere.
Mr. Barnett is quite right. The time could be much better spent by finding out which of you people committed the murder.
Why are you excluding yourself?
Why, by the name the late Mr. Folsey was attempting to write down when he died. It could be anybody but myself, Magnolia, and Miss Dunstock.
Oh, what a relief. I'd feel just terrible if Jeff felt he had to avoid me.
Hold on. I've done a bit of questioning since the murder, and I find that suspicion is much wider than we'd at first imagined.
But how can that be? Gerald Wartsey very definitely wrote B-A-R, so the killer could only be someone like Miss Barstow.
Oh, Miss Barton.
What about Bonzi?
Don't forget to rhyme the baronet.
don't forget, Barbara has 2 strikes against her.
And Barbara, darling, it's your turn. Shouldn't we all be trying to find out who killed what's-his-name?
It's no use, Dora. She'll never find out what's going on. But in our catalogue of suspects, let us not forget Mr. Barnett himself.
Who tricked me into bringing him up here to the house? Who concealed his engagement to Dora?
Who was alone with Barnaby when he died?
But Dora was with him, wasn't
That's as good as being alone.
Magnolia, mind your manners. But, sir, what did you mean a moment ago when you said that neither Magnolia nor I was above suspicion? There is no B-A-R in either of our names, so I fail to see.
But you were the one tending bar, as it were, and you could have somehow, very easily actually, introduced poison into that glass.
Well, I never touched anything near that sideboard, bottle or glass.
But a quick phone call to the agency that assigned you to this house led to the interesting information that you're only working here as a maid to earn enough money to finish attending law school. In other words, you hope to become a member of the bar.
Aha! I will only have their word for that if, at the time of the murder, they were actually washing up the dinner dishes. If they were both under suspicion, a man and a woman, who could quite easily be the poisoner and the stabber, naturally their alibis could be faked.
And so could all your alibis, Mr. Ledoux. I mean, for example, you see that you and Miss Barstow were taking a walk in the garden after dinner. Really now? In the middle of a thunderstorm? And Miss Barnsdale claims to have been reading wine cellar labels? We all know she couldn't possibly read any of those labels. And Cleo? She claims to have dawdled over dinner. From what I gather from the rest of you, she couldn't abide the boiled mutton and rose from the table early, excusing herself to her room for a smoke.
But what about Barbara, darling? She always does take a nap after dinner.
No, just as we were going into dinner, she told me she had already had her nap.
So you see, there's no one in this room who's above suspicion.
Jeff!
I didn't mean you, dear.
And why on earth not? After all, the only account we have of the murder is what the two of you said. How do we know you could pair up to bump him off and make up this whole thing to mislead us?
Because I'm your own flesh and blood, and Jeff has an honest face, see?
You guys, let's have a look at it.
What's his looks got to do with anything?
Yes, what? To merely suspect him of murder. We never said he was dishonest or anything. Why is everybody standing up?
Will someone please tell Lady Barbara what's going on?
Who's got a pencil and paper?
Ye gods, are we going to sit here all night while we write everything down for the old dodo? Ryan, I appeal to you. Ryan, where in the world did you go?
And that he's the killer, and he's made a run for it.
Oh, come now, Magnolia. The old thing can barely talk.
Excuse me, but what are we all looking for?
Oh, Ryan, dear. Has anyone seen him?
He may have gone into the garden.
No, the doors are still shut. We'd have heard them open.
Oh, the kitchen perhaps.
He'd have had to move awfully fast, and we'd have seen him.
He didn't cross the room, I swear to that.
But, darling, people don't simply vanish.
But you're forgetting what happened earlier, before Barnaby was stabbed.
What happened? He vanished. He was standing right there at the table. All of a sudden, the lights went out, and when they came back on, he was gone.
But you didn't tell us this before.
Well, it seemed a rather minor occurrence in the light of what happened afterwards.
Yes, the disappearance is nothing compared to a murder.
So it simply slipped my mind.
What mind?
Really, Magnolia?
Why should I be respectful? I was hired for a party, and the party's over.
What was all that lather about the disappearance when Barnaby was killed?
Oh, he certainly was. Extremely skilled. One of the best ever. And Barbara, what are you saying?
That Barnaby was skilled. She misunderstood Orion's fiance.
What? Rosalind, you mean you and Orion?
Talk about your May-December marriages.
I would hardly call Orion of December 8th.
I didn't mean him.
How dare you!
There now, you wicked girls, see what you've done? Speaking before you're spoken to, insulting the guests, showing no respect for anyone at all, just because there's a killer on the loose?
Rubius girl, you should not steal clothes off of dead people.
Never mind her. What I want to know is when you got engaged to Orion.
Well, I'd rather find out what Barbara thinks that Barnaby was skilled at doing.
And I'd like to find out which one of us is a cold-blooded killer.
Has anybody seen Orion? He was sitting right over there.
Will somebody please give Lady Barbara a scorecard before I scream?
Ice cream, that sounds delightful.
Ah!
Don't do that, Bonzi.
Oh, never mind, you old muttonhead. What's become of Orion?
Perhaps his disappearance has something to do with the tontine.
That must be it.
Who are you calling a muttonhead?
Barbara, of course.
Oh, well, that's all right. Will you two stop bickering before I scream?
Yes, but who's got some?
All of you, stop it! There's a killer in our midst, and we have to figure out the motive for the killing before someone else gets dispatched.
Jeff's right. Let's put our brains together.
Why leave Dora out?
Now, Cleo, stop that. Dora isn't done. She's just broadcasting on an unfamiliar frequency.
Why, thank you, Barnsey. I think.
You think?
Ladies, please, the murder, remember?
Yes, yes. Let's pool what information we all have together.
Yes. Okay, so let's get matters straight. First off, Barnaby was killed, and probably by someone in this house.
But why couldn't it be an outsider? A roving lunatic or some such?
Impossible. It's pouring rain outside. There'd be mud and wet footprints all over the floor. Don't you agree, Jeffrey?
Absolutely. And the killer had to know something of the layout of the house.
Why do you say that?
Well, because of the subtle way the poison was introduced into the glass. And the way he disappeared and reappeared. Who knows? I mean, there could be secret panels or such in this old house. How would an outsider have known about them?
Then it's settled.
We can rule the outsider out. What's to prevent a stray madman from creeping in, accidentally discovering the panels or whatever?
And what? Madmen aren't selective in their killing, yet Barnaby was clearly singled out for the murder.
Otherwise, you would have put poison in all 3 glasses. Is that what you mean, Barnesy?
Exactly, but he didn't, so we know that Barnaby was the sole intended victim.
Perhaps the madman just didn't have enough poison to go around.
He had a dagger, Dora. He could have used that more than once, don't you see?
So it comes right back to Barnaby. It always comes back to him. Well, if we can deduce why he was murdered, but that's just it. We can't. It's the bewildering part of the whole thing. He didn't have any money. He wasn't part of the Tontine. And it can't be anything he knew about any of us, because he hadn't seen any of us for years and years.
But wait, Dora, he did know something right before he died. Remember? He said that 2 of the people in this house were imposters.
He what? You didn't tell us this before. Which 2 people did he say? Well, that's the whole trouble. He was just about to tell us when it happened. The murder.
Odd. Decidedly odd. It's also topsy-turvy.
What do you mean?
I mean, the motive. It's all backwards. Barnaby had a marvelous motive for wanting to kill all of us, yet none of us had the slightest reason for wanting him dead.
But we must have. I certainly don't. No, I know what Cleo means. Barnaby's murder's a fact, and a murder must have a motive. And we're the only ones who could have done it, so...
So there's a motive we just haven't thought of yet, but a motive nonetheless.
And one of us knows that motive. I mean, we're all showing total ignorance. Honest ignorance in most cases, but one of us is only play acting.
He was very good at it, you know. Good at what, Aunt Barbara? Who?
Oh, pay her no mind. Orion told me over dinner that she's got some cool notion that she and Barnaby used to.
What is it, Barnesy?
Miss Barnsdale, if you don't mind. Pet names on such short acquaintance are quite rude, young man.
Come off it, Barnesy. We're seeking a killer. Hang protocol. Cleo's right. What have you just thought of?
Well, I had the fast-figuring notion just pop into my head that...
Screaming! Roger, I'm gonna get me
Why?
Yes, Dora, be quiet, beady-eyes.
No.
Just be quiet. Chef, what in the world have you done with Barnesy?
Nothing! She was right there, and then the lights
This
went
place
out.
is a death trap. I'm going to my room.
Alone?
Chef, I'm very thoughtful of you. Chef, how could you?
I meant she could be in danger upstairs.
Chef, how very kind of you. I thought I was the woman you loved.
I'm talking about murder.
And I'm thinking about murder. Look, he's back! Oh, you're driving up. Who gagged him?
Oh, thank heavens he's alive.
Orion, this is no time to play cowboys and Indians. How did he get back here with his feet tied? He must have hopped, but we didn't hear him.
Give him a second. Then you can tell us.
I need a glass of sherry.
Water. Get the poor man a glass of water.
I said sherry!
Oh, darling, I was so worried about you.
Oh, damn it, Bryce, I'll get the sherry myself.
Someone get him a glass of water. Oh, shut up, Lady Barbara. You'll have to insult her much louder than that, Rosalind.
Will you all please be quiet so Orion can tell us where he's been?
Yes, Orion. Just where have you been? Just one moment you were there, and the next you were gone. Where were you? After he has this water, let's ask him where he's been.
It was the most extraordinary experience. I was sitting over there on that bench when all of a sudden, I say, what's become of Barnesy?
We were hoping you could tell us.
You see, Uncle, she seems to have vanished. Poof!
Vanished, Barnesy?
Yes, she was standing right here in this very spot. When all... Screaming! Dora! I don't have ears! Aunt Barbara, did you get
Seven.
There's no electricity in this house! Oh no, this is terrible! First Barnaby, Uncle Orion!
Then Barnesy.
And now your sweet Cleo! I thought you hated her. Oh, but I did. But why did you do that now? Give me loathing.
Damn it, Bryce. It's all my fault. I hadn't been so greedy.
And you do know something. Come on, tell us quickly, please, before something else happens.
Well, the reason I asked for everyone to gather at Margate Manor was for...
Dora, don't say that to her. Remember what happened when you said that to Barnaby?
Where were you?
straight from my pocket.
I say, isn't that Bonzi? Well, what's become of Cleo?
Hold it, all of you. What's gone? What are you two talking about?
Why, the pigeon thingy, of course.
Jean Bull, Orion, Jean Bull.
Oh, hang your fancy French words, Bonzi. It's a pigeon thingy and it's gone.
What are you two blabbing about?
Well, you see, Rosalind's great-grandfather used to keep carrier pigeons.
And?
Well, isn't it obvious?
Isn't what obvious?
Well, the messages had to go into something, darling. A pigeon doesn't have any pockets.
Wait, are you talking about one of those little whatsies they fasten onto a creature's legs?
It's called a Jean Bull, Rosalind.
Or a pigeon thingy.
Dora, that term is slangy, ridiculous, and totally inappropriate.
But it sounds so cute.
Please! Let's not bicker about proper wording. I want to know why these gizmos are so damned important.
Why, they each hold a part of the limerick, darling.
What limerick?
Why, the one father made up before he died.
Father?
Yes, you see, Rosalind, Uncle Orion's father was my great-grandfather, and he was ever so nice. That's why Uncle had him painted and hung.
Never mind that. I want to find out the significance of these gizmos.
Jean Bulls.
Whatsies.
Pigeon thingy.
Why, Bonzi, what's become of your nice chain with the little leg luggage on it?
Oh, shut up, all of you. Not another word. Don't any of you say one more thing. There. That's better. Now, will one of you please explain that limerick that you mentioned? Damn it all, I didn't mean you had to be silent forever.
I'm not here. What's going on? No one will tell me.
Oh, darling, whatever's the matter?
I'll tell you what's the matter. There's been a hideous death, several strange disappearances, and now apparent thefts of some message carriers of vast importance. And we may all still be in hideous peril from the still unknown killer, but all you people can do is sit around me and babble.
Babble?
What babble? Yes, it all makes perfect sense to me.
All right, then you explain it.
Which part?
Oh, gosh.
I'm just befuddled as Jeff, and I've known you all a lot longer. Can we take this in easy stages or something?
Oh, there's nothing easy about being on the stage, my dear. Why, I remember
Barbara, please!
how very difficult it was to play a role like that Mr. Tate, or Lawson, the one from Conover Station.
Who is she talking about?
She's talking about Barnaby, the old chap. Never did get his name right. But then again, she hardly gets anything right.
She imagines the two of them were on the stage together.
Aunt Barbara and Barnaby? How silly!
Let's get back to the point. What was all that blather about limerick or something?
Why, that was the clue to where Father had hidden the gold, do you see?
Oh, finally, now we're getting somewhere. What gold?
Why, our gold, of course. You see, darling, Uncle Orion, Cleo, Barnsey, Barbara, and myself all took whatever cash we had and converted it into gold for that tontine. Then great-grandfather took it and hid it.
Well, that was a lousy trick.
You don't understand. We asked him to hide it.
Hide your gold? What in the world for?
So we wouldn't know where it was, of course.
I'm the crazy one.
No, it sounds just as stupid to me.
But what could be simpler? You see, when we first bought the gold, it was a mere $35 an ounce. Nowadays, of course, it's worth a small fortune.
A large fortune, Orion. Gold is currently worth 20 times as much.
But great-grandfather didn't want any of us succumbing to temptation, so...
Temptation to what?
To cash in our portion early, do you see?
Yes, he suspected the price of gold would rise, and didn't want us to cash it out before it reached the utmost limit.
But of course, if we found it, we would have before it did, and it wouldn't have the chance to.
I must be going. I'm beginning to understand Dora.
Okay, let's get back to the point. I mean, what does all of this have to do with the limerick?
Well, darling, a limerick has 5 lines, and there were 5 of us. So each of us got a single line of it.
I've got it. Orion's father hid the gold, then made up the limerick that would tell you where it was hidden, then gave you each only a single line of the limerick, so you wouldn't be able to find it without the assistance of the others.
Good grief, so that's it.
Now you see why I'm so upset at losing my pigeon thingy?
Jean Bull!
You mean your line from the limerick was in it?
Oh, why, of course.
What do you mean, of course? There's no of course about it.
Oh, but Rosalind, darling, great-grandfather had drawers full of those thingies, since the last of the pigeons perished, and...
Wait, do you mean he
took 5 of those little rolls of paper you write pigeon messages on and wrote the limerick lines down on them and then passed it around to all of you?
There, didn't I say it was simple?
No, you didn't.
I thought somebody did.
Father did.
Oh, that's where I heard it.
Stop, please. Let's get back to the point.
What point?
Those limerick lines, of course. No, Orion and Barnsley, you two have lost yours, correct?
Not quite, young man.
You still have yours.
Well, no, but I didn't lose it. It was taken by force.
Stop being such a pedant, Barnsley. He meant you had it, and now you don't.
Then the killer will have 2 clues to the whereabouts of our gold.
Probably 3 now that Cleo's vanished too.
Oh, but he shan't get mine. I wouldn't hear of such a thing.
Well, hope you've kept it in a safe place.
Of course, I very cleverly attached it to this charm bracelet.
What charm bracelet?
Oh no! I must have left it upstairs in my suitcase.
Oh no, quickly everyone.
Okay.
Where is everybody going? Why does no one tell me anything?
Excuse me, Lady Barbara, but have you seen Medkins?
Oh, Magnolia, have you seen Medkins?
I said, have you seen Medkins?
Then where is he?
I just asked you that.
Will you please go fetch him?
Lady Barbara.
Because I like a glass of sherry, that's why.
Oh, why don't you get it yourself?
Oh, thank you, dear. That's kind of you to offer.
Very well, very well. Might as well be talking to a wall as trying to make her understand anything.
Of course, it really is the duty of a butler to pour the sherry. But these are difficult times, and I suppose one must make do.
Oh, look, there's one already poured.
Oh, there's already one poured. You needn't bother.
Oh, drink your drink and shut up.
Thank you, dear. Aye. What a peculiar colour this is.
What's wrong with the color?
Oh, and what a peculiar odour, too.
Wouldn't know myself. Never had sherry. At my wages, I'm lucky to afford a pint of bitters.
Jitters? Yes. I suppose we all have them. Murder, you know. It does tend to dampen one's party spirits. What was that noise?
You heard it too? Oh, it must have been loud.
Dear, look at the mess on the floor. We must have Medkins clean it up at once.
I'll ring for him, Mum.
Oh, Magnolia, that bed is never to be touched.
What was that shot?
Oh no! Is anybody hurt?
What's going on down here?
Look! It's blood! Green blood!
What's happening? Barbara, are you all right?
She was just having a glass of sherry, and then there was a gunshot or something, and she spilled her drink. But she wouldn't let me ring for med.
Oh, good heavens, no, you didn't use that Belleport, did you?
Why shouldn't she have?
Father was most strict about it. Had me close up this entire wing before he died. Said we were to never touch it until we were ready to dissolve the taunting.
But you have opened it. Does that mean that...
Screaming out! I hate this house!
I can explain everything. It all just happened so fast.
Oh, but
What happened?
it's the very first thing that happened to me.
First the lights went out,
Yes, the same.
and someone grabbed me,
Exactly the same.
flung me down into a dark tunnel or someplace,
The very same.
and tore off my necklace and stole my fur.
There the similarity ends.
Oh, the dirty rat picked my whatchamacallit. It was right here on the pocket of my dress.
Well, now I've heard everything.
Shush, girl, she's talking about a thingy.
Who's arguing?
We were right then. That does make 3.
What are you talking about? Well, there were 5 of those thingies, and now the killer has all but 2.
Really?
Magnolia, will you keep out of this?
Yes, you don't know what we're talking about.
Why should I be any different?
Magnolia, shut up!
And they criticize my manners.
Got to unravel this mystery, and the sooner the better. I mean, the whole key to this thing is that taunting in those limerick lines, which I don't suppose any of you has memorized his or her lines, by the way.
I'm an actress. Of course I memorized it. Nothing simpler.
Thank heavens. What about the rest of you?
I'm fairly certain I know mine. It was one of the shorter ones.
Mine was lengthy as limericks go, but I do have a good head for poetry.
Dora?
Nope, afraid not. But I do have it right here in my charm bracelet. Shall I get it out?
Yes, absolutely, right away. And then we'll put the whole thing together, solve it.
What about Barbara?
Whatever is the matter with everyone? Why are you all looking at me as if I just hiccuped in church?
Well, perhaps the rest of you have enough, and we can do without her. What are your lines?
Well, mine was, to the best of my recollection, they must look for a place.
Go on.
That's it, old chap.
Are you sure?
Perhaps it'll make sense with all the other lines, Jeff.
Well, I'd hope so. What was your line?
Wants to pull out the gold sugar plums.
So much gibberish!
Well, hold on, let's give it a chance. Barnesy?
Miss Barnesdale, if you don't mind.
Oh, Barnsley, come off it. Our very lives may depend on this.
Very well, very well. When a family that's truly all thumbs.
What about them?
That's all of it.
Woman, you could have said so.
Can we please have it again?
When a family that's truly all thumbs. There, are you satisfied?
Still not making any sense. Only we knew the order of the lines.
Oh, as to that, we do.
You do how?
Well, my father said he was passing out the thingies in order.
What was that order, Mr. Ledoux?
Well, let's see, it was Barnsley, Cleo, myself, Dora, and Bob.
How can you be so certain?
Well, as to that, father did it so in a way as we wouldn't forget. See something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, then Barbara.
How dare he call me old?
But you are the oldest, Barnsley. You were my governess, Cleo's governess, Dora's governess.
But why was I something new?
Well, you see, you just how your first nose job.
Ryan, please!
Shut your mouth, you little gold digger.
Sticks and stones make me break my bones.
Don't tempt me.
Ladies, please. Let's get back to the point.
Yes, Jeff's quite right. I'll continue. The something borrowed was my title of baronet. I started to use it before father kicked off while he was on his deathbed. And,
How you memorize the orders of Bestows hardly matters.
Oh, please let him go on, Jeff. I want to know why I was something blue. Was it my lovely blue eyes?
No, I'm afraid not. You see, your parents were so sure you'd be a boy that they ordered all the baby clothes in the wrong color.
Well, why didn't they just make an exchange?
Rosalind, that's monstrous!
Of the clothing, Dora, not of you.
All of you, stop it. There's a killer in our midst. We're babbling about your baby clothes, your nose job.
Quickly, let's get back to the limerick. I'll start. When a family that's truly all thumbs.
Wants to pull out the gold sugar plums.
They must look for a place.
Showing my smiling colon.
Yuck! That is absolutely disgusting.
And a terrible rhyme.
Are you sure that's what it says?
Well, here, let me see. Oh, whoops. Hadn't unfolded this one little bit here. Yep, now it all makes sense.
What does it say?
Well, I can't say it now. It spoiled the rhythm.
Dora, for the love of heaven.
Jeff, let's do it her way. Always best.
A nut. Who are you calling a nut? All right, all right.
Right down his face.
All right. Let's take it from the top. Fonzie.
When a family that's truly all thumbs.
Wants to pull out the gold sugar plums.
They must look for a place.
Showing my smiling face. Colon. Make up your mind. Is it face or colon? Face, followed by a colon.
Well, then that means that the last line should tell us where the gold is buried.
What's the matter? Why are you all staring at me that way?
It's no use. She hasn't the foggiest notion of what's going on. We'll have to write it down for her.
Oh, I know. There's half a pencil in here someplace. Let me see. Ruler, rubber band, eraser.
I found Medcase. He came back just as I was sweeping up.
I didn't know he was lost.
Wow, Magnolia, have you seen Medkins?
Yes, Mom, I have.
Why were you looking for him?
Because he disappeared so mysteriously, sir.
What? When?
When we were clearing up the dinner dishes, he stepped into the pantry, and when I looked inside, he was gone.
But when exactly was that?
Shortly before that mysterious gunshot that made Lady Barbara spill her poisoned drink.
What? Her drink was poisoned? How did you know?
Well, I didn't know, not at the time, but I recognized the color of the poison, a rather nasty shade of green.
But Magnolia, if you knew the color of the poison, why didn't you know when Barbara spilled her drink?
I thought it was just some sort of sauce, sir.
You broken a saucer? Oh dear, I hope it wasn't the good china.
Barbara, shut up! Oh!
Magnolia, you're still not making sense. What has the poison got to do with Meghan's disappearance?
Well, when I went into the kitchen just now, he was coming out of the pantry and he was carrying a small bottle, or maybe a flask. No, it was too small for that. Perhaps a vial?
Just say container and get on with your story.
Yes, Mum. Container, and it was filled with the green liquid.
You're still not making sense then. You saw a bottle. The bottle was filled with green liquid. You think it's the same liquid that was dumped into Lady Barbara's drink. You're still not explaining how you know it's poison.
Oh, well, as to that, it's the same sort of stuff you put on all the horses' duvers.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Sorry, sir.
Poison the hors d'oeuvres? How can you be so sure?
Because, sir, I just ate one.
Oh, she's dead! Murdered! Right before our very eyes! Oh, this is horrible! Horrible! That's just that tiny girl.
Wait, they're on the floor. Is that plaster dust?
Look, in the ceiling. Is that a bullet hole?
Do you suppose the shot we heard earlier?
But why would the murderer fire a bullet into the ceiling?
Got it. It's all starting to make sense now. For all we know, in that tiny mound of plaster dust lies the key that may well unlock this entire mystery.
Good servants are hard to get. Darling, are you sure I can't toast you a marshmallow?
How can you think about marshmallows at a time like this?
Would you rather she ran about the room shrieking?
Don't give her ideas.
Orion, how can you only pull yourself sherry after 2 attempts at poisoning people?
Rosalind, I can see the colour of it perfectly well. It's not green at all.
But what if Medkins has switched to colorless poison?
Damn it, Brass.
I wish the police would get here. I can barely keep my eyes open.
Oh, then why don't you take a nice nap, dear? Because he might not wake up alive?
The way my feet feel, sudden death might be a blessing. These shoes were not meant for all-night pacing.
They go barefoot, Barnsley. No one would mind.
I would mind. If I must die, I shall do it with decorum.
Where are the police? Should have been here hours ago. It's nearly dawn. Perhaps they missed their way in the dark.
Dora, this is a small village, but the police cars do have headlights.
Of course, the new police station is at the far end of the village.
But even so, the village is scarcely a mile wide. They could have walked here by now.
It is odd the more I think of it. Orion, did they give you any indication of a delay when you called them up?
Well, as a matter of fact, I didn't ring them up. I was too I was too busy helping Geoffrey carry Barnaby's body upstairs. I asked Rosalind to call them.
Oh, but, I was helping Cleo get over her hysterics, so I asked Dora to call them. Oh, but I was too busy helping Magnolia clean up the glasses and things about the room.
You mean you never called them?
Now, Jeff, would I overlook something as important as that?
Yes!
Oh, well, I didn't. So there.
Didn't overlook it or didn't call them?
Didn't overlook it, of course.
Then you did phone for the police.
Well, no.
Then
Then
what?
Well, I asked Medkins to call them. Dora, you dunce! Medkins is the murderer! Well, I didn't know that then.
When you found out, why didn't you tell us?
Well, darling, we all found out at the same time. There was no need.
Oh, not about him being a murderer, you lunatic.
About him not calling for the police!
Well, we can't be certain he didn't phone for the police.
Why not?
Well, he hadn't been exposed as a murderer yet, so phoning the police would be part of his cover. Do you see?
You're sick in the head. I better call them right now. Hello? That's funny, the phone's dead.
That's not funny at all!
That's not what I meant.
Oh, darling, don't worry. At least we have you here.
I'd rather we had the police.
Well, he's a police reporter. It's practically
exactly the same thing.
No, it's not!
Police arrest criminals. Reporters only write about it.
Well, at least he has a pistol.
Speaking of which, where did you get that pistol?
You know, it was actually in the desk. These overstuffed drawers hold just about anything a person could want.
Except a pen. You know, that's given me an idea. There's a first time for everything today.
That was very rude, Rosalind.
She merely asked the murderer to fetch the police.
Dora. What? Oh, Cleo, leaving so soon?
It can't be soon enough for me. I'm not sticking around to be the next victim.
Oh, but you shouldn't carry your own bags. You should ask a servant. Which servant? The killer or the corpse?
That reminds me. What's become of Magnolia's body?
Why, we left her right off on that bench there.
Where's the corpse? I thought I saw her lying there.
That was me.
That was I.
They're both corpses?
I just noticed something else. That picture. Shouldn't he be facing the other way?
Now that you mention it, he does seem to be facing backwards.
Well, if you wouldn't stick out like a sore thumb in this group, I'm getting out of here.
No, you can't leave, not yet.
You just watch me.
But we need your Bentley
What for?
to fetch the police.
They won't come unless you drive them?
Cleo, you don't understand. You see, dopey little Dora here didn't even call the police.
But I did ask Medkins to call them. Oh, she's not dopey. She's demented. I'm getting out of here.
Oh, but could you at least stop by the police station?
Listen, honey, when I go out those doors, I'm putting my foot down on the accelerator and keeping it there till I'm safe in my own bed.
Wouldn't the walls get in the way?
I get just about enough out of you.
Oh, yeah. Stick 'em up now. Stick 'em
Hold on, hold on.
I'm hurting, darling. How dare you call him darling? I'm a movie star. I call everyone darling. At least I don't have to marry for money.
Don't talk wrong, Cleo. Why, Rosalind said she'd have me if I were penniless.
Have you shot, maybe?
Please, can you hold your chit-chat until after we've solved the crime?
We have solved it. The butler did it.
Ah, but he wasn't really the butler.
Well, they can't be the maid.
Barnesy.
Miss Bonsdale?
Why are you so insistent on being called a miss?
She has a point. You may call me Barnes.
Now, wait. Can you just mail me the crime? My Bentley's about to flee, and I'd like to be in it when it does.
No, Cleo, there's a very good reason why you can't leave just yet.
What reason?
Well, it's just that before Barnaby died and he wrote out that BAR, he told us that 2 of the people in this house were imposters. And we know that Medkins was one of them, but, well,
I might be the other.
anyone might be.
Except me, of course.
Well, as to that,
Right, you suspect your own fiancé.
Jeff, how could you?
it's just that there have been so many shaky statements made here this evening, and I'm afraid you made one of them.
Well, this may be worth sticking around for after all. I'd like very much to hear what she said.
And I'd like to hear what I said, too.
All right, it's just this. When Barnaby wrote out that BAR, you immediately suggested that it stood for Rosalind Barstow. You said you never trusted her.
Well, I like that.
I'm so glad you're not upset.
But really, darling, why should I have said that?
Because, Dora, if I understand matters correctly, before this evening, you and Rosalind had never even met.
Aha!
On the other hand, Mr. Leduc, you claim to have spent the time of Barnaby's murder in the garden with Rosalind, and you weren't.
Aha!
And you claim to have dawdled over dinner.
Aha!
And you claim to be reading wine cellar labels.
Aha! Lord Havisham put the cove in the punch bowl. I knew it all the time.
And finally, we have Lady Barbara's supposed nap after dinner.
Well, we can hardly ask her about it.
Oh, yes, we can. I'm going right over there and write down every last thing for her to see. We're getting to the bottom of things.
Thank you, Cleo. I appreciate the favor. All right, let's have it. What are the true stories you all have to tell?
Well, I already didn't trust Rosalind because Aunt Barbara wrote me of her in her semi-monthly letters.
And Rosalind and I weren't taking a stroll in the garden.
We were under the terrace overhang chatting.
And I ended up in the wine cellar because I thought I was taking the passageway back here, but was too embarrassed to admit that I don't see very well.
Then I went to the bathroom after dinner, but I was too shy to tell anyone.
And I went upstairs to take off my belt because it was killing me, but was too much of a lady to admit it.
guess that does rather account for matters, doesn't it?
Don't be too downhearted, darling. After all, this is your first case.
Don't worry, Jeff, darling. There's still oodles of things that need explanation.
Such as,
Why was that bullet fired into the ceiling? Why would Medkins poison the hors d'oeuvres before he had learned Lady Barbara's line of the limerick? Why did Orion invite us all here in the first place? How can Lady Barbara's last name be Fenwick if she is the widow of Mr. Leduc's brother? How can Barnaby's last name be Falsey if he's the son of Orion's only brother? And if he is, doesn't that make him Barbara's son too? And finally, what was the fascinating notion that popped into Barnaby's head just before she vanished?
Wow. How many questions does that make us?
I make it 7.
oh no, Uncle, there are 7 questions, so you make it 8.
Damn it, Dora, I'm not a puzzle.
Only as regards his taste in women.
I've had just about enough of you, you middle-aged man trap.
Hold it! Let's solve the murders, then we may kill one another.
By all means. All right, let's take those questions in order. First off, why was that bullet fired into the ceiling?
To startle Lady Barbara into spilling her poison drink, the killer wanted her alive before, so he could learn her line of the limerick.
But why would he poison the hors d'oeuvres? I mean, those might have done her in.
But hors d'oeuvres are all ham and anchovies and caviar, and I am on a salt-free diet. Plus, Mr. Tate ate them all.
Well, that makes sense.
Not to me. So what else is new?
Okay. Next, Orion, why did you invite everyone here in the first place?
Well, it's embarrassing to admit, but times are tough, taxes are up, and the taunting was my only possible source of revenue.
You needed the other 4 lines of the limerick.
That makes sense.
Not to me. No comment.
Okay. Well, that brings us to Barbara. How can her surname be Fenwick if she were married to a Leduc?
He was only my first husband. My second was a Fenwick.
How could Barnaby's surname be Falsey if you were the son of that same Leduc?
Ah, that was my late husband's first marriage. He had married a Falsey girl, and she insisted the child be surnamed after her.
And your husband agreed?
She never told him.
Oh, how marvelously simple.
You sure are.
Thank you.
Well, that takes us to the final question. Barnsey, what was that fascinating notion that popped into your head shortly before you vanished?
Oh, let me think. It had something to do with Lady Barbara and her acting classes. No, I'm sorry. It quite went out of my head when I was grabbed and robbed of my jambon. Perhaps I'll think of it later.
Well, if that takes care of all the mysteries, I'll just be hitting the road.
But wait, there's still one more minor mystery. Whatever happened to Magnolia's body?
Now, that is a puzzling thing, because we set her down right there, and I swear she was dead, but I also know that nobody had the chance to move her body, so...
Well, you see, there's a switch on the bench arm up there. It's a gold turntable.
Orion, why didn't you tell us this before?
I didn't know about it until it happened to me.
So you mean earlier, when you vanished yourself? The killer didn't do it?
Well, how could he have? Medkins was right here in the room when it happened.
I don't believe it.
That Medkins was in the room?
That you made a sensible statement.
Mr. Leduc, after you flipped the switch, flipped the mechanism, rotated yourself with the wall and everything, what happened then?
Well, I was in a dark passageway, trying to find my way out, when all of a sudden someone hit me over the head, tied me up, and popped me back out into this very room.
Well, then that leaves only one thing for me to do then. I better go in there and try to find Medkins.
But what if he's not in there?
Well, then Jeff will come back out, of course. Won't you, darling?
If I can actually figure out how to start this thing. Oh, here's the switch.
Hey, wait a minute. There ought to be a body there.
Will you make a lousy interior decorator? Wait, I just thought. Jeff has her only weapon. Should Medkins come back now?
Oh, we'll call for the police.
Now run for help! Charge!
No, wait, stop, all of you.
I think I'd better drive to the police station after all. It's our only hope.
I'd better come with you. You don't know the location of the new police station.
Are you afraid we'll tear each other's hair out?
Well, it beats getting stabbed.
You've got something there. It's so nice to be home again.
Nothing this exciting ever happens in Delaware.
That's it! That's the thing I forgot grabbed.
How dull it is in Delaware?
No, Barnaby, I mean. He was supposed to have lived all those years in America, yet he'd never heard of Dover, Delaware's capital.
Great Godfrey, so that's it.
Yes. And he didn't know his nickname was Wartsy either, come to think of it.
And just before he died, he told you there were 2 imposters at this party.
And, oh, good heavens. Do you mean?
He was one of them.
And Medkins was the other.
Oh, how clever you both are. I must tell Jeff the good news. How'd you work this thing anyway? Oh, yeah, there we go. I think it's turning. Hey, wait a minute. You're not Jeff. Who is it? Oh, it's only Medkins. Medkins!
Oh, sir.
Oh, Medkins, might I trouble you for a glass of sherry?
I think not, Lady Barbara. Over there and sit. Both of you, keep your hands where I can see them.
Then how about some gin?
Now listen to me, you all both.
Wartsy!
Don't be ridiculous.
Nonsense! I know those 3 words anywhere. Why, he isn't Medkins at all. He's Cousin Barnaby!
So that's it, the answer to the puzzle. We never could figure out why anybody would want to bump off Barnaby. Now we know. Nobody did.
But then who was that other chap that got murdered?
An actor. I hired him to pose as me for the duration of the party. And when he suspected my motives, well, I had to kill him. That's all.
But Barnaby, but when Orion called the agency and they said they were sending a Medkins to us, who was that?
That wasn't a domestics agent. That was another actor I hired to pose as one.
What's your credentials, man? I saw you drive up to my mansion in an agency automobile.
Driven by another actor I hired to pose as a chauffeur.
But Barnaby, what was the point of it all?
Yes, you seem to have overcomplicated things excessively.
What other choice did I have? If I came here as myself and murdered you all, well, I'd be the prime suspect and probably be hanged before I could even inherit. But as a dead person, once a substitute Barnaby was out of the way under my name, well, I could never be suspected at all.
But you're still not making sense. Even if you did murder us all and the police thought you were dead, there would be no way for you to get the inheritance.
Ah, but I thought of that too, and wisely made out a will, so that being thought dead, my heir would get all the money.
What heir?
A man called Joshua Frobisher, who lives in faraway Phoenix.
How does that help you?
Don't you understand? I'm that Joshua Frobisher.
But wouldn't they recognize your face when you came to collect the cash?
No, because, wait for it, I would simply hire another actor to collect for me.
Boy, equity would be crazy about you.
Barnaby, but why haven't you murdered us already if that was your plan?
Because of the blasted taunting. There was no money for me to inherit. I learned shortly after I arrived yesterday. Not until those 5 Limerick lines were put together and the whereabouts of the gold discovered. I had to let you all live until I learned them.
Well, wait a minute, I just had a thought. When the 2 imposters that Barnaby, that is, that actor you hired, was trying to write down the name of the killer, the name was...
It was writing the letters B-A-R.
He was trying to spell out Barnaby.
B-A-R stood for Barnaby?
Even if he'd finished the name, we would have been even more confused than ever.
Except Dora. She's already reached her limit.
Now, Uncle, this is no time for compliments.
Oh, never forget that. Just what do you intend to do with us now, Barnaby?
Why, get the last line of the limerick from Lady Barbara? Murder you all, take the gold, and live happily ever after.
But you won't get away with it. Why, any moment now, Jeff will come back and he's
Dora!
gonna say,
Dora!
Jeff!
I solved the case. The killer's Barnaby.
Oh, darling, did he hurt you?
Here now, keep away from him.
Don't be such a grouch, Barnaby. What does it matter if he's tied up or not if you're just going to shoot him anyways?
I suppose you're right. Say, what's become of Cleo and Rosalind?
Oh, they've gone to fetch the police.
What?
Oh, nonsense. You needn't worry. You can murder us all and make your getaway in plenty of time.
Dora!
What? He can't, darling.
You shouldn't have even told him where they'd gone.
Darling, he was bound to find out when he saw the Bentley was gone.
Oh, the Bentley. That's a relief.
Wicked man, what have you done?
Gimmick the brakes on the Bentley. The first curve in the road they come to, they'll plunge to their deaths in the sea.
Barnaby, that was very naughty of you.
If you care to put it mildly.
We're doomed. We're doomed.
I've got it. Let's stall for time. Lovely weather we're having.
kindly return to your seat?
So, you're the killer, Barnaby. How terribly devious of you. And think, just for a mere fortune and gold. But is it really necessary to kill us all?
Dora, do you have to remind him of that?
I'm still stalling for time, darling. Why don't you take a try at it?
It doesn't make any sense to. I mean, if Rosalind and Cleo had actually gone to fetch the police, it might. But since he gimmicked the brakes...
Well, a policeman might drop by.
Dora, you're a total nincompoop.
Oh, stick it in your ear.
Oh, Dora, where did you learn such language?
From great-grandfather Barlow.
Yes, he spoke like that to everyone who annoyed him.
Yes, I'll never forget the day we got our limerick lines from him.
Neither will I. He was absolutely furious at Barbara.
Yes, and who could blame her? Him. She was such a wreck, holding her jambou and continuously piping, "Where shall I hide it? Where shall I hide it? Where shall I hide it?" Until we all wanted to scream.
Yes, it's no wonder he told her to stick it in her ear.
Stick it in her ear?
That's it.
That's got to be it.
Of course it is.
You mean she actually stuck it in her ear? That's crazy.
This family, who'd notice?
Orion, how long has Lady Barbara been hard of hearing?
Why, since the day Father passed away.
Oh, do you suppose?
And to think we thought it was the shock of his death.
What shock, he was 97 years old.
Still in all, it must have been a shock to him.
Rosalind? Cleo? You're not dead?
But the Bentley, I gimmicked the brakes.
Not well enough, apparently.
Oh, he did a dandy job.
Well, then how did you stop?
Well, we ran smack into Bonzi's cottage.
Before you reached highway speed, how lucky for you.
Where did the car stop? In my rock garden or the peony bush?
Your living room.
I just had the carpets cleaned.
You fools! Why did you come back here?
Yes, Medkins plans to kill us all. I mean Barnaby.
Well, Barnaby? I thought Barnaby was already killed.
Not quite. You see, I am Barnaby.
You are?
Okay, I'm not gonna go through all that again.
We'll explain it once the killer's captured.
Oh, Dora, shut up. Now, both of you, get over there where I can see you. And now, Lady Barbara, lend me your ear.
What are you doing?
Finding out the final limerick line at last.
Father choked on one of these.
So that's it.
You know the location of the gold?
Not quite,
Why not?
because I forget the first 4 lines.
Oh, goody. Let's not tell him. But he has all 5 of them. Not mine, he hasn't. Hadn't!
Let's save time. Just recite your lines for me, please.
After the rude way you yanked that off my wrist.
That's nothing compared to the rude way I'll shoot you in the foot.
Who's arguing? My line is showing...
Wait! In order, please, and no tricks.
When a family that's truly all thumbs.
Wants to pull out the gold sugar plums.
They must look for a place.
Showing my smiling face. Colon.
With the tug of the cord, down it comes.
What face? What cord? Oh! I heard him! I can hear! I come back to the wonderful world of sound!
And listen, one more peep out of you, and I'll plug you.
Come back.
Now quickly, tell me, what does this cryptic limerick mean?
I got it! The smiling face is in that picture right there. And the cord is as long as your belt. Of all the times to regain use of your brain!
Of course. The gold frame is really gold.
Imagine, after all this time, it's been right over our very noses.
But Barnaby, before you kill us all off, may I ask Lady Barbara a question?
All right, but hurry it up.
Lady Barbara, when you first met the false Barnaby, I was wondering...
If I saw through his deception, then of course I did. Orion, I told you he used to study with me at Mrs. Michael's amateur theatrical acting class, didn't I?
I must admit she did.
It was that nice Mr. Kate Lawson, and I told you that too. Dear me, now there's been opening the class. I must phone Mrs. Michaels.
Hold it. Now, there's nothing personal in this, but to cover my tracks, I really must bump you all off, and now.
But Barnaby, why have you done all of this?
You don't know what it's like being the only pauper in a wealthy family. I had to scrounge for every bit of money I could get from you. It began to drive me mad. And then, when I heard Orion was about to cancel the taunting, with gold now selling for hundreds of dollars an ounce, well, I made up my mind. I've been left flat broke so many times. Was not going to be left flat again. Now, all of you, shut your eyes.
Just one moment. You asked us before why we came back. Well, we had a good reason.
What reason?
We were stalling for time. I told you it was a good idea.
Oh, be quiet, you idiot.
Well, if that's the way you feel, our engagement is off.
Dora, all engagements are off. We're about to be killed.
Not necessarily. You see, when he no longer has the time to kill us.
And why not?
The police are on the way.
After all, we were sitting in Barnsley's living room, so I thought, why not use her phone?
Curses, then I have no time. Dora, quickly, pull that cord.
But Barnaby, wait.
Oh, shut up. In another moment, I'll have over £1 million.
Oh, nonsense. It can't weigh more than a few thousand. I just did what he told you that day. Dora, don't scream. Where's the light? I swear.
Let me get it off.
We've left it flat again.
At last, this long nightmare's over. Soon the sun will rise. Darling, you saved us all. What?
Wait! I'm the one that pulled the cord that flattened him!
But Cleo's the one who phoned for the police, which is what rattled him so badly that he asked you to pull it.
Jeff, does this mean that you and I, together forever?
Why not?
Oh, it's just like one of my movies. Oh, Jeff, I love you so! Wait, I love him too! I'm very rich now. Well, I'm very rich too. And I'm a famous movie star. Oh, Lady Barbara, did you say there's room in your acting class? Oh my God! Oh my goodness gracious!
What's the matter with all of you?
We saw you fall dead just a couple hours ago.
Oh, that was only temporary.
But you ate the poison hors d'oeuvres! So how can you be alive?
I threw up.
You know, I just had the most comforting thought.
After this night of total terror,
That the only one that was brutally murdered tonight was merely an actor.